the sentence, and in a bracket we have is. So the caret there indicates that is missing. So if we are putting it back, we will have the boy is missing. But because the is not there, we have a caret. They there already. Between they and there, something is missing. And that is what we have outside the sentence, which is are. Then we have a caret between they and they. If we are putting it, we will have they are there already. She is dash only girl. We have a caret between is and only. So the word has been placed outside and it is the. So we can have she is the only girl. Caret is relevant in essay writing. At times when you have written an essay and you have to go over it again, then you discover that some words are missing in your sentences. Instead of cancelling or rewriting, you can insert a caret in places where you noticed omissions of words, significant words. So when you put the caret there, you put the words that are missing. That is the essence of the caret in letter writing or in writing generally. Capitalization. Capital letters are used to start a sentence or first word of a sentence. So when you are starting a sentence, the first word that starts the sentence will be written in capital letter. It is also used for proper nouns, e.g. James, Lagos, Sunday, April, Nigeria, and so on. Capital letters are used for acronyms. Examples: UNO, OAU, UNESCO, AU, WAEC, NECO, UTME, and so on. Summary is another aspect of English composition or English comprehension. Here, summary writing entails writing down brief comments or accounts of a long passage. I would like you to hold on to long passage and brief account or comments. So you are bringing out brief comments from a long passage in summary passages. So in essence, we can say summary is the shortened or abridged version of a long passage. It involves the removal of irrelevant points. You know, when you are reading some passages, you discover that it is not every part of the passage that is useful to you. So while doing summary, you bring out the relevant ones and leave the irrelevant ones behind. Then when you are writing these accounts, such accounts is usually written in one's own words. So the ability of students to read, understand, interpret, and report incidents in the prose and account for the main points is tested in summary writing. Unlike the comprehension wherein you just read, understand, interpret, and answer questions. Here in summary writing, you have to read, understand, interpret, and then give reports of incidences in the prose or given passage. Let's see how we can have a good summary. The first point you should be putting in mind is being brief, and we are discussing that under brevity. This states that accounts or reports of a given long passage must be straight to the point. So that is the essence of the summarized account of a long essay. You should be straight to the point and brief. Another one is relevance. Students are expected to give answers that are relevant to the main points mentioned in the long passage. So any point you are bringing out must be relevant to the main point. If anything, you have to remove the jumps that are in the passage and bring out those ones that you feel will be relevant to the main point or main idea. Proper coverage of the passage. while writing your summary, you should make sure that every relevant point in the passage is properly covered, is properly represented. If you have like 4 or 5 main points in the passage, you should ensure that the 5 points are fully represented in your summary. Do not leave any point, any useful information out. Another one is being clear. It is explained under clarity. Your answers to summary questions must be clear and understandable. You should not bring up confusing arguments or confusing summary, in the sense that when the examiner is reading it, the examiner is confused and he does not even know what and why you have brought out such points out of the passage. So you should ensure that your answers or your summary is clear enough and straight to the point, in such a way that it relates to the question that is being asked. Now let's look at some steps to answering summary questions. The first step we'll be considering is reading the passage very carefully. Like the comprehension passage, you have to read the passage carefully. You read it painstakingly. Students are advised to read the passage carefully for at least more than once. You read it more than once before you conclude or resort to answering the questions. The first student should be done quickly to know the subject matter of the passage. So it is very important that you know the subject matter of the passage. That is, the main idea, the main subject matter of the passage should be grabbed during the first reading. Read the passage for the second time, and this time around you are reading slowly to get a better and full understanding of the passage. Then another one, you read the question after the second reading to ensure a proper understanding of the question. And then when you are reading the question, you make sure you memorize or you put in mind those questions. You try to master them, so that when you are reading it for the third time, you'll be able to know where the answers lie in the passage. During the third reading, pay attention to where answers to the already mastered questions surface in the passage. Then underline such areas and then go back to the questions to answer them. So by the time you've read for the third time, you would have known where the answers to the questions lie, and then by the time you are reading, you start underlining such areas, so that when you go back to the questions, you will not have difficulties answering them. Most times, summary passages are deliberately not titled to test students' reasoning ability. So you should always be very smart in this aspect, because the title of a summary passage that is not titled, any summary passage that is not titled, will definitely have an idea or the click to the topic, to a certain topic in such passage. So the topic is usually lying in the passage itself. So you should always read very well, read painstakingly, and pay much attention to the main point of the passage, so that you'll be able to give a suitable topic to a given passage. Now let's see how to answer summary questions. To answer a summary question or summary questions, you must write your answers in sentences, just like those of the comprehension passages. You have to write your answers in sentences, full sentences. Do not write a subordinate clause and conclude within you that you have written a topic. For example, if you are asked to give reasons for something, you should not start your answer with "because it is wrong." So you have to give a full sentence that will include the main clause and the subordinate clause, if at all you are going to have one. Then write all the answers in short and straight to the point sentences. That is the essence of a summary passage. It should be short, precise, and straight to the point, and clear enough, also relevant to the question. Use your own expression to answer the questions and avoid direct lifting from the passage. This is very important in summary writing, in summary passages. When you are answering questions, avoid lifting sentences from the passage. Use your own expression to answer your summary questions. You should also use correct and appropriate expressions. Your expression matters most. And you know, when you are writing in all forms of composition, your expression matters a lot because it carries some marks on its own. So your expression should be appropriate and should follow the rules of grammar. Approaches to writing composition. The first one is gathering ideas. Before choosing a composition question, the first thing you are expected to do is gather ideas, and make sure you are not choosing a topic that you are not sure you have valid and relevant information and ideas on. So if you are picking a topic, you should be very sure that you have adequate information or relevant knowledge of what you are writing on. So when you are sure, you write out your points or the points you wish to discuss in the body of the essay in a rough paper. The second thing you are supposed to do is organize your ideas. Rearrange the points you already gathered or jotted down in a rough paper. Then arrangement should be done in a logical manner. That is, you arrange them orderly. If you are narrating an event, you narrate them chronologically as in the order of events, in the order in which they have happened. So you arrange your points. Ensure that each point is explained in just a paragraph. This is relevant to the knowledge of paragraph we have discussed earlier. I have told you that a paragraph should only contain an idea. You cannot bring in two ideas into a paragraph. Each idea should be discussed in just a paragraph. If you are starting another explanation on another idea, you should begin another paragraph. Developing the ideas. While developing your ideas, ensure that each point in each paragraph is well illustrated with examples and experiences to buttress your points. That is, you should not write in abstract. Give points that are followed by examples or illustrations so that the banker or the examiner would know that you are really acquainted to what the topic you have picked. Then use simple and easy to understand expressions. You should always avoid too long expressions and